Let's jump on the rip for game 2. Alrighty, game 2 of the upper bracket, round 2. Gen.G was waiting here. They selected Dplus. They're looking for their 21st match win in a row against this team. And so far, based on what we've seen tonight, looking pretty likely.
Yeah, I think once again we're seeing a good amount of scaling from Dplus. That's a good start for Siwoo. Ends up a little bit favored for Siwoo in terms of health overall, but still pretty close. Yeah, a lot of scaling, and we did see ShowMaker have that phenomenal Cassiopeia game not too long ago, but still, I just think a bit of an uphill battle.
That was against DRX
in terms of getting into the fight. They've had a lot of games against DRX recently.
Yeah. I do think when you're going all in against a Cassiopeia and the Cassiopeia doesn't get touched at all, like ShowMaker had a lot of great maneuvers in that fight that we're talking about, but I do think that he should be more pressured to have a play like that in this game.
Doing good so far in the lane. Chovy gonna get pressured off some farm. Just hit level 2.
Yeah, Cassio definitely annoying early on, but curious to see how he's going to do against the all-in threat of Ahri and Xin Zhao. It's not Ahri Vi, it's not Ahri Wukong, but it's still very strong. Like, Xin Zhao can get in there and can get away from the miasma relatively easily. We're getting an aggressive trade down here, but Career and Smash just kind of say no with their heal.
That doesn't feel too good. They're hitting a lot of these, I forgot the name of the ability with the Qs in Cassiopeia.
Noxious Blast?
I think that is it.
Yeah. That's crazy. I know an ability name? Like,
yeah.
What's going on
You've
here?
been practicing?
I've been studying, I guess.
Good job. You know what? Crazy. I'm proud of you.
Might even be wrong as well. Like, we don't even know 100%.
I'm not going to look it up. I'm just going to trust it is correct.
I think it's correct.
I'm going to believe that it was. We're going to live in a world where it is.
Yeah. Cassiopeia was actually my main for a long time, early on in my League of Legends career, my illustrious.
The worst is when they change the name of the ability, when you did know it and they change it.
Yeah.
Didn't they change Twitch and then they changed it back with his ult?
Yeah, they did. And also Vi. I know Atlas gets mixed up with those a lot, because he's an OG.
I thought you were
going to say all the
he's
old
a boomer.
I could have said that. You know, I was considering it. But
I could sense you wanted to.
I decided to be nice this time. I'm not going to say he's from New Zealand today. Well, I did say that.
Yeah. He was pretty upset about it.
Yeah, he was.
That's why he's not here today.
Well, at least I learned about Wellington, you know? We learned a lot,
yeah.
I feel like a couple days ago, about geography and
that's the place where
cities.
beef Wellingtons come from, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the champagne comes from the Champignon region.
The what?
God.
I'm going to tell your wife you said that.
Oh, no. You know, I always, that's one of the ways I bother is trying to pronounce French things.
Yeah.
I just like, that was wrong. That was wrong. That was even worse. Just stop. Never again.
Yeah.
Let's move swiftly on.
British and American people are famously really good at pronouncing French things.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Kiin looked a little bit uncomfortable in this matchup early on, but has kind of regained control.
Yeah, he's chilling.
Charm doesn't connect there. I think ShowMaker doing good so far. Definitely feeling confident in this matchup. I think at 6 it gets a bit scary though. Just the mobility from the Ahri means you can set up ganks so easily. That's another miss Charm.
All right, we got Needles coming out here. Not sure. Yeah, he's not going to go for the kill or even the flash. But.
Speaking of another level 6, it does feel bad on Jace when the enemy laner hits 6 and you're like, okay, well.
You're so cool.
Yeah. You can do that now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been doing it all lane, right?
Yeah, nothing has really changed.
Hey, when was the last time we got a... When was the last time we got a champion who could just ult whenever? Because we have Jace, Nidalee, Karma, and they're all really old.
Yeah.
Oh, we have Udyr. Again,
yeah, but
old.
he's older.
Yeah, I know, but like, we haven't had anyone new, right? Or am I missing someone?
I'm trying to think, but I don't believe so. Unless there's one obvious one we're missing.
Maybe it's time.
Big trader smash gonna flash forward away from the bubble. And Ruler says, yeah, cool story. I'm just gonna Valkyrie away from that. So now, smash down flash, barrier, and career used his heal. Ruler holds on to his barrier and his flash. And the trade was even.
Yep, disrespecting a little bit. I think Yunara, the power you get in your level 6 allows you to actually opt into fights like those to sort of go deeper. But trying to take a trade like that before you have that power boost available ends up costing you all those sums. And now, when we think about that, even when Smash gets the ult available, Ruler having barrier and flash, you know, he can flash your W, he can barrier the damage. Maybe you can't look for that all-in when the cooldowns are there.
Here we go again.
Good polymorph, but still a little scary. The Gatling gun with the Tidecaller's Blessing still doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, you can see that they're now in an uncomfortable spot. Even Ruler was able to pick up the plant from the river and heal up a little bit. And are they actually going to die? I mean, they're very low and not a lot of subs available. Career taking sword and a double rocket to the face! Smash! Hands on his head. That's what it's like to lane into Ruler.
The thing is, in terms of the impact on the lane, it's big, right? That is obviously massive, and it does obviously have big ramifications for the lane, for the game. But in terms of how tilting it feels to be on the receiving end of that,
yeah,
it just does not compare. That is mental shattering. He just styled on you. Just Valkyrieing across and getting the double rocket explosion.
He didn't even barrier. He didn't flash. Duro didn't flash.
Oh man, it feels bad. He popped the triple tonic, you know, the
red one.
The red one, the
boom damage one.
Yeah, 25 adaptive force.
Yeah, I got nerfed
after the nerf. But yeah, that's what it's for. That's why it got nerfed, because you pop it for those big moments, and definitely appreciating that extra damage. Yeah, obviously now Ruler's super fed, but it's just so tilting being on the receiving end of this. They're obviously stacking next to the turret for safety, but the big rocket. And especially, you know, two young players.
Woo! Boom! Yeah, he knows. He knows about the boom damage.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, boom. All right, there's a nice bait here, actually. Lucid gonna get in on top of Ruler.
Oh, the rocket
does use! Oh no, yeah, the rocket is going to miss, and now Chovy does come down, but Duro in a lot of trouble. That's a kill going over to Career. Super low on health is Smash, though, has to disengage, and that means that it will be a kill on the Lucid in the follow-up. As Chovy continues in, the charm is going to miss, though.
Good dodge.
As now we got ShowMaker coming over, and even he doesn't feel that confident to go in.
Yeah, Canyon's just kind of playing... He's just like, I'll go left, I'll go right.
Yeah.
He would stay there all day. He's not walking into the Cassiopeia. But a good pickup, honestly, from the bot lane of Dplus, baiting there for that jungler. Chovy doesn't connect that charm in the end, otherwise it could have been an even trade, but the shutdown they got in a Ruler is massive. And I was talking about how tilting it'd feel to die in that manner. They don't let it get to them, and they're able to answer back in a huge way. Could have been a third kill for Ruler as well. I think the major thing for me was the dodge on the big one. That comes a little later. So Ruler and Duro feeling really confident. Duro's ult isn't ideal. And you can see Ruler getting a lot of poke here. It's the big one that comes in a second. Now.
That went through Smash, by the way.
Yeah.
We have a play in bottom lane as Duro is just dead. Canyon says, I will get revenge for my supports.
Honestly.
Please consider Duro in your palm vote.
Good fighting back from Smash and Korea. Can you have to put extra attention down to kind of figure things out.
I mean, in live, they were in between turrets. Like, they're zoning Smash and Career off of farming, and it's just feeling really bad. They're trying to take down Canyon now, and they might just be able to, so at least that does come through.
They're answering back really well. Ruler's still ahead, but it's honestly much closer than it was. At one point, it was like 1,600 gold up after those first 2 kills. I think Gen.G just trying a bit too hard. They were so confident with their lead. And now, you know, it's a gold lead for Lucid. It's only slight, but he's getting some feed off this. Yeah, this is very aggressive.
Especially with Canyon there, I think you can just do this.
But just not respecting the sustained damage from the Yunara. You are a very burst-focused lane as the Corki Nami. Didn't have anywhere to retreat to there as well. And Lucid just being like, you can't do this. Your Corki is too low to step up. Career flashes to back up his jungler. This has been a scrappy bot lane.
Yeah. I do think trying to put the nail in the coffin on that lane a little bit too hard from the side of Ruler and Duro. They had a big lead. They still have a big lead, but it's not nearly as big. And that is going to be another petrifying gaze that does not land on the Chovy, who's been good about dodging those. Kiin going to eat some needles, but not too many of them.
Yeah, eating needles not good for you. Generally.
It's pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
You do not want that in your stomach.
Hazardous. Okay, let's see what Ruler and Duro do here. I expect they will continue to play extremely aggressive to make up for the fact that they messed up some of the recent plays. Obviously, they have to get even further ahead, so they have to play aggressive. Whereas if they were behind, they would have to play aggressive to get back ahead.
Of course, yeah.
Consistent theme.
Finish this Trinity Force, but we do have Kraken Slayer for Smash. Still about 900, 800 gold. Ahead is Ruler.
I mean, it's still a lead, but just not as much as it was or could have been. Duro does have the mandate though, and finishes Dreammaker, so it's a lot of burst. It's a lot of burst. It's a little scary, and I think the sustained all in from Smash and Career is big, but it's like, can you get a short trade and be non-committal is the question. Hard to be non-committal when Lucid is around and is ready to ult you.
Yeah, Lucid's nearby. Canyon also, we do have this Chemtech Drake spawning in about 40 seconds. Notably, this time DK at least got the grubs in the trade for the first Drake. So there's something that they were able to get on the objective screen, and maybe even able to fight for the second Drake this time as well. With Chemtech on the cards, should be a decent soul.
Yeah, Chovy has Malignance completed, so a big spike for him. ShowMaker has been doing well in lane, but is on Rower tier. It's not the biggest spike for the Cassiopeia. Has the mana pool, but just not a ton of damage yet. Other than just base damage.
There's a lot of pings in that bottom river from the blue team, where they do not have vision. And just probably telling ShowMaker to be careful about Canyon, but not really going for any play in the mid lane. Just trying to clear out vision around the Drake. As Miasma comes in, definitely a very nice trade here from ShowMaker.
Yeah, he just takes away 70-60% of Chovy's health bar. I mean, there's a bit of sustain on the RE, but that's not a good spot to be in with the Dragon up and available. No TP as well on Chovy. Does hit level 11, but it's going to get a reset. So if Chovy TPs, maybe they can set up for this. They're looking for Smash, though.
Yeah, just trying to kill Smash here, but it's Lucid, actually, who gets the big play with the Wild Growth on top of it. Gen.G totally baited, and now Smash running forward. Canyon has to flash away. Smash goes on in, and it works out this time. Picks up the double kill, and that is a very fed Yunara at this point.
Charging in with the Corki, being the one to lead it. A little bit ambitious, a little bit of an overstep from Gen.G, and Dplus quick to punish. Considering how the lane went, Smash and Craig getting exploded by Ruler from the same rocket, how tilting that must have been. The bounce back has been crazy. Smash now 4-2-1 with a gold lead in the bot lane, and Dplus with a gold lead overall. Great to see. It's also a Cloud Soul, which I think honestly is as good as it could get for this Dplus lineup. see it coming out. Ruler dives in. Lucid's been waiting there for an opportunity. And Ruler had flash, but I just don't think there's any way you're getting out here. Canyon eventually flashes, but is followed. No damage to really turn it around. And yet Cloud Soul, considering one of the issues with this Dplus composition was closing the distance.
Yeah.
And getting in range, the extra movement speed, especially on demand, is so valuable for them. So
yeah, it's huge for Gwen, Wukong, Yunara, obviously, and
Cassiopeia also. The change to her passive was she obviously she can buy boots now. You may have noticed no more jokes about. Well, we can still make the joke. How did Cassiopeia buy boots?
Yeah,
but she gets extra movement speed from sources.
Sources, yeah.
I forgot what the actual wording is.
Sources.
Sources.
Or is it sauces? I don't know.
Sources say.
Yeah.
Sources say. Now I'm saying it weirder because.
Well, you're already saying it pretty weird.
Increases
so,
the effectiveness of all movement speed bonuses by a percentage based on level.
From many different sources.
So, shut up. So presumably, I mean, that will work with the Cloud Soul as well. So ShowMaker will be zooming.
Yeah, definitely will be. We've looked a lot at the top lane trades. I mean, we've seen these trades many a time and many a game. Does look like Kiin has stabilized and has a slight lead. So feeling good about that. Would like to see a Jace actually do things.
Wait.
In a game?
ShowMaker just bought boots.
He did, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And Youmu's can be so obnoxious against Gwen, where you get the phase rush and then you just Youmu's away from the needles, and it's like, well, I get my burst trade and you get nothing.
Yeah. That early pickup from Kiin helping him navigate the matchup. But it's super close. I mean, especially with how game one went, Dplus' team fighting with the insane deficit they had wasn't that terrible. When they got to the 5v5s, like all things considered, there were some okay moments. It's just they were 13,000 gold down. So I think a closer game.
Oversteppers here, as we are going to have the charm come in, the flash and the ult does go down, but Chovy does not get hit. Lucid, though, is here. Flash available for Chovy, so he's not going to overcommit, but at least does help out against the dive on ShowMaker.
Okay, well, they get a flash from ShowMaker, so it's still positive for Gen.G, but they definitely were hoping for a bit more there. Yeah, very hard to kill Kiin. Too much movement speed, even when he's caught recalling there, just able to disengage from the situation.
Well, trades in the jungle. I do like that Lucid's trying to be pretty proactive. You know, with Cassiopeia winning her lane, with Smash and Career not really being challenged. Now, is this too deep is the question. Is going to go in with the Cyclone. The red buff is taken here by Canyon, as he might just die anyway, but the heals do come in from Duro. And ShowMaker not committing to the kill, actually. Just back off a little bit and does not commit to take down Canyon, who did have his flash.
Ooh. Close down the rocket.
Uh-oh. Looks like she should be okay, but
1 second on the ult from Chovy. We won't chase ultimately, but pressure achieved for Gen.G. Remember, they're the ones with the poke and the sustain for the Nami, so when everyone ends up low HP after these fights, it feels like they're the ones who benefit. Both mid laners getting some pressure in the side lane, but it's Chovy who's hitting the tower. But now, this is the poke from Gen.G's composition. Going to lead to them getting that mid-tier 1. Which they will feel good about. Dragon in 30 seconds. Resets coming in a little late for, I mean, both teams, to be honest, so it doesn't really amount to much. But it's going to be a bit of a rushed Dragon setup. You can see neither team really has the vision in the area right now, other than like one ward from
There's
Gen.G.
one ward, yeah.
Yeah, so...
And this is a very even game. Like, yes, Gen.G has a slight lead, but... You know, one team fight. We've seen team fights that go against the team that's down 5,000 gold in this meta. Absolutely, DK can fight here if they want to. Now, it's looking like they don't want to.
this is typically when Gen.G would be quite strong, but Ruler's...
Oh, Chovy just kind of going insane mode. Not going to land that charm, though, on a smash. Does a little bit of damage, but they have the Lulu, as Lucid says, I've got a Rift Herald. Chovy tries again. That's not going to work out. Now Chovy in an awkward spot, and the engage is gigantic for the Wukong, and the Lulu picks up Chovy, who was trying to be the playmaker, but it does backfire big time. And now the push is on here for DK, and maybe a dragon in their pockets.
Yeah, Chovy tries to be the hero and just massively oversteps. You know, this is a composition that can poke and prod. He tries to engage, and it backfires completely. And now Dplus will pick up the dragon, easy as that.
Now Canyon's going to find Siwoo here in the jungle. He's also got Duro on the way. Flash available for Siwoo. He's going to utilize it, but okay, he's running it off, actually. And he does get away.
Gwen too tanky. They will get this tower in the top lane, but doesn't really feel like much of a consolation prize, especially as they're trading on the other side of the map. Good. Ultimately for Dplus. And this just felt overforced by Chovy. I mean, it doesn't connect. Obviously, if it did, it's a different story, but also they had to poke the pressure here. I think just maybe hesitant about trying to force into areas they didn't have vision on. And this ult from Lucid gets so much value here.
Yeah.
Chovy also going Malignance into Rocket Belt. So, a lot of dashes. He definitely has set himself up to be the engage. He's like, I am diving in. That is my objective in this game.
Yeah, he's the playmaker against the playmaking maker on the other side. And I do think that they do need someone like Chovy to set up plays alongside of Canyon, because we talked about the engage from DK, how it's a little bit lackluster, but in an even game state where Lucid keeps getting these giant plays with the Cyclone and the follow-up with the Wild Growth, that's definitely enough. If they can close the gap, which they are, it does feel like Gen.G are overextending, which is giving these, you know, these awesome plays for Lucid. Like if they're playing back, if they're poking, then Lucid doesn't quite have the angle. But so far it's been like 3 times, a couple times down in the bot lane, and obviously here in mid, where Lucid's been able to find those angles, and Gen.G are just getting engaged on.
Game's still close. I'm just a little concerned as well because this Gwen's starting to become a real problem. Cassiopeia has fully stacked Archangels and fully stacked Seraph, sorry, and Rod of Ages. Smash has 3 items. I will say that KIA went Ardent Sensor and Shurelya's. I think a Mikhail's would 100% be the right call here. Having the cleanse for the Ahri charm and for Bubble, much higher value than the attack speed and the on-hit.
Well, Smash is, he's just getting in there. he's really taking out Duro. And he has dodged quite a lot so far in this game, so maybe just saying, continue to dodge, I'll get the Mikhails eventually.
Only takes 1 to hit.
Yep.
And also it does work on other people too, so... but yeah, I think as well in the last fight, Ruler didn't have his mirror mana fully stacked, so they weren't as strong as they should have been at that point of the game. And now you're sort of approaching the point where Dplus' composition's really coming online, right? Smash is super strong, ShowMaker's starting to feel really strong, Siwoo too. And if Gen.G are even at this point,
pause.
If they're even at this point, right, like we'd hope that they would be ahead in bot lane, ahead in top lane. Yes, top lane was a little ahead. Bot lane kind of squandered their lead. And overall, the gold is close. And they need to be set up and landing the poke, and we're just not seeing that. I'm a little concerned. This could be a really good spot for Dplus, especially if they start stacking up those dragons. I think the next dragon fight could end up deciding really the story of this game.
Yeah, Gen.G, not usually a team that does much happy gaming. Generally, if they get a lead, they're very good at snowballing their leads and kind of just putting an end to the game before the enemy team has an answer. But Lucid was there every single time in the bottom lane when they went way over aggressive. And now Gen.G find themselves in a weird spot they don't find themselves in very often. And shout out to Dplus KIA, you know, there are so many numbers and things that we can say.
Well, Lucid's no longer here. Lucid has left the building.
Same for career. Please don't tell me this is a almost full team toilet issue in the middle of the game. I guess we're just allowed to take toilet issues and toilet breaks at any time. Hawks, do you perhaps have to use the restroom?
Nope.
Well, if you did, you could just leave, okay? I'll hold down the fort.
Look,
so
here's my take. Here's my take. I know, obviously, Wolf has strong opinions about this.
I definitely lean towards Wolf's ideology.
But I actually have more issue with the toilet issue when it's right at the start of the game. Okay? That's what bothers me, because if it's right at the start of the game, like, you should have known in the break or before the game. If you're 24 minutes in the game, you know, sometimes maybe
stuff happens.
Stuff happens, right? Maybe you have something you ate last night, or you have a stomach bug, or you just drank too much water.
The whole team? Like all four of them?
No, because what I think happened is one player called for it, and the others were like, well, we'll just all go, right? It happens, right? Sometimes these things do. Obviously, ideally, it wouldn't happen, but things happen, you know. It's better than the player being stuck in an uncomfortable position. I'm more accommodating, especially in longer games. This hasn't been that long. It's only been 24 minutes.
Yeah, if it were 44 minutes, I'd say okay.
But I do think, you know, circumstances happen if you've been in the game for a while. I do think that when it's like we've just, like, the game hasn't even started, and it's like, you know, yes, there are exceptional circumstances, but when we had, like, so many games where the game hasn't even started, and it's like, we just had a break, you know?
Yeah, I think also when one player does it and it's allowed, other players are like, oh, I can do that as well. And it does feel like we've become a little bit more lenient with the toilet issues over the years. I remember the first one. That was like a huge deal, and like Chovey's running across the stadium, and it was like 40 minutes into the game. It was a very slow meta, and something like that hadn't really happened before, not to that extent. It was a close game as well, so it was like very tense, but he was like, sorry guys, I have to go, you know. But nowadays it's like, oh, you know, I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable 20 minutes in. Let's get the whole team down there. And yes, I know that is one person and it kind of snowballed, but
I think that's the thing, is that, like, obviously pausing the game and taking the momentum out of it isn't ideal, but I wouldn't want a player to feel like, you know, they're stuck on the stage in a really uncomfortable position. So, you know, we kind of have to take the unfortunate pause with the fact that, you know, it means that the players get out of that uncomfortable situation.
Those two were in an 8-year relationship and a 6-year relationship rooting for Gen.G. So for the first 2 years of their relationship, who knows who they were fans of, but it wasn't Gen.G.
Wow, interesting.
But after that, you know, sticking with Gen.G for 6 years. 6 years ago was 2020, and that was a very interesting year for Gen.G because that was the year of Dom1 Gaming at the time, winning Worlds in 2020.
Yeah.
Gen.G were still a strong team, but, you know, it's not like they joined on the Gen.G bandwagon when there were some big moments, but certainly they were a top contender.
This one is girlfriend likes Chovy, boyfriend likes ShowMaker. That could be tense.
Yeah.
Heated even.
I like Dagon. He's my favorite AD carry.
Yeah.
This is a Chovy fan. As you can tell, not by the Chovies, but by the cat drawing there in the middle.
That's what gave it away.
Yeah. I mean, he used to have like the snaggle tooth, but he since then got braces and looks great nowadays. We do have the return of some of the players here.
Was Korea the last one?
And based on the amount of time it took, you know, maybe there is something going around over there on the side of DK, because that was not a quick visit, if you catch my drift. As Lucid was the one who did start it all off.
Oh, he's got the smile.
And he'll be the last one back.
Okay. We should be good to go.
Well, maybe Gen.G
You know what?
needs to use the rest, you know?
Imagine if we unpause, GenG instantly pause. That'd be a power move, honestly. I'd respect it.
I think they should, just to send a message.
Yeah.
You know? And what could the refs say, you know?
Yeah, can you have gone when Dplus
No.
going?
Oh, I only felt like I had to go now. All right, well, we're here to play League of Legends. Thankfully, the League of Legends has begun again. Let's just pretend that was a mouse issue.
Sure. Whatever you say, Brendan.
Yeah, Lucid with the mouse issue. But we're all back into the game as Gen.G, well, Kiin misses 2 CS there. But it's okay.
Okay, we're in the game. Still super close. Dragon in a minute 15. I feel like this is a really big point of the game, especially with Baron available. And a lot of DPS on both sides. A big fight win here probably just leads to Baron. I think Gen.G need to get set up, poke and prod. Get some poke down to the right members. And ultimately, don't let Lucid anywhere near your squishy champions, which is a lot of them, if we're being real. And also care Smash. If you land CC on Smash, though, there's no outs. If Chovy does connect the charm this time, there's no way to free him from that.
Yeah, second time's the charm. Get it?
No, I'm not following.
Oh. Well, that's okay.
You'll have to explain it later.
I got you.
Yeah. Right now, Gen.G doing a decent job of getting vision in the area. Do need to start getting some poke down as the members of Dplus try and push in. If they can start to get some poke down, that's ideal. Chovy holding off Siwoo at the moment. Smash has Bloodthirster, so he's able to sustain up a decent amount. In the meantime, Gen.G.
Uh-oh. Hide on bush.
Yeah.
And let the Corki engage.
A little bit of poke there. Remember, the Jace Shock Blast did get nerfed on this patch, so not really...
Feels like it does nothing.
It's not hitting that hard. Oh, there's a snake behind.
They saw him. Like, they know he's here. And now ShowMaker just going to try to flash away, but instead he's just going to die. So
Okay, that's not good.
the Gambit does not pay off. Although they are going to get tier 1, but they're losing the Drake for sure.
Went for the sneaky flank, got caught out.
Meanwhile, okay, Duro just going to melt just like that. Smash, diving the turret, flashing underneath, and picks up the double kill. Meanwhile, Chovy just a solo kill on a Gwen here on the Siwoo in the top lane. Pretty interesting how that one managed to work out. The Dragon, by the way, was not taken. So Canyon had to back away just based off the aggression of DK.
Yeah, this ends up working out favorably for Dplus.
Yeah.
Ruler and Duro step up too far in the mid lane, get exploded by Smash.
They're just going to do Baron.
No.
Just kidding.
No, he's taking the Scuttle Crab. Yeah, so they end up getting the Dragon anyway. They circumvent the entire situation because Ruler and Duro just disrespect Smash and Korea in this situation.
When have they done that before?
Well, Duro especially, that was super egregious. And Ruler also goes down. Was well played by Smash there, but just complete disrespect, I feel. You know, you're in a squishy Nami. Can't be walking up like that. And the rest of the team is forced to move to peel. Chovy does find a nice solo kill here. With the Shroud down, he's like, okay, it's go time. He does the old, press my ult several times.
Yeah.
The Q misses. The charm does hit though. And then he gets the follow-up Q there. Well played. But this Yunara is very scary. And I believe Korea will eventually get a Mikhail's.
Eventually. But first, he will get the Oblivion Orb.
He already had that.
Forbidden Idol. But, yeah, it's taking quite a while, is the point. And, you know, when Smash first picked Yunara, we were saying, hey, you know, there's Nautilus available. There are ways for Gen.G to deal with this, but Yunara is very strong, especially if it gets fed. He's pretty fed, and he's ahead of Ruler, who got his Corki, one of Ruler's favorite picks nowadays, if not his favorite. And we were thinking, especially after the double kill in the bottom lane under the turret, that Gen.G were just going to roll this game too.
I mean, I'm going to be honest, they should have, right?
They should.
It should have been, when you have that much of a lead in the bot lane, they played this one very fast and loose, and Ruler and Duro, it's been a bit sloppy. Chovy also kind of has been bullied out a little bit by ShowMaker in the lane. He has picked up some gold now, he is ahead, but the lane wasn't super advantageous. ShowMaker was holding his own. Top lane, Kiin's done fine, but, you know, it's chasing the Gwen, right? What takeaways from that is there? And Shock Blast, they're just not doing that much damage. You know, I think the big takeaway is he was pushed out from the jungle.
Oh, this time he is going to force Chovy to use all his dashes in the opposite direction. Nearly dies to the final blast of needles.
But they reduced the damage of the Shock Blast quite significantly. Like, they lowered the AD ratio, they lowered the base damage, and it's amplified by the acceleration gate, so the nerfs feel even worse.
Yeah.
And I just feel like we've seen it now. It's just not doing that much damage. So
yeah, I mean, a Jace that's ahead is supposed to be nearly winning engagements by just shock blasting you from afar.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen that if you hit the right targets, and a lot of the times he's been hitting Lucid, who is not the right target, but shouldn't be taking that little damage for sure. Or maybe he should with the changes. So that's what you get for picking the Jace. Lane dominance into the Gwen, picks up Dusk and Dawn, and takes over the game. Which is probably going to happen. Oh, the tidal wave, very nice, but I don't think Ruler gets out anyway, as Lucid just finds the angle. Bit of a Ruler spot there, as he does not have his flash, and is just hanging around, no vision in mid lane. Meanwhile, Lucid takes a bit of a chunk, but...
Every time I see the Shock Blast hit Lucid, I'm like, is that it?
Yeah.
Is that actually it?
Is that all you have to offer, Jace?
And honestly, they could have gone something else. Like, the Akali was available, and Akali just kind of mangled Gwen. Yeah, just caught out. You know, I talked about some of the concerns for them reaching the Corki. They're not really struggling with it. They're kind of just charging at him. Lucid doing a great job this game. Was underperforming last one, but really finding the angles here. And Cloud Soul's in a minute. If they get Cloud Soul, they will just run them down at every opportunity. Gen.G do not stand a chance.
Yeah. And the amount of poke you're doing will severely fall off as more and more items and levels come in for the side of DK. Your Jace is going to feel even more useless as the game comes along. And this is looking good for Dplus KIA. Like, Dplus KIA have not won a match in the last 20 matches against Gen.G, but they have won games. They have won games here and there.
But no one's won a single game against Gen.G all LCK Cup.
Yeah.
This would be the first game loss for Gen.G this year. Well, yeah, because Casper Cup was last year.
Yeah.
So first game loss for Gen.G this year, which is crazy to think about because we are in February, halfway through already.
Well, they still don't have Mikhails, so potentially an angle here. Canyon's being chunked out so much before the fight even begins by the Cassiopeia, and now they can just kind of run at the Dragon. They have so much damage on this. They don't even need the Unara. But here comes Gen.G pushing down the mid lane.
The problem is it's so hard to approach when you don't have vision. If you run in there, they'll just engage on you. They're trying to threaten the Baron, but I mean, this is just not realistic.
This is on vision. So, ShowMaker does have TP as well. You see they pull off the Baron. They're not actually going for this.
Okay,
that blast did some damage, okay?
Yeah. Squish your target.
TP's coming in.
Did a lot more, but...
From both. Actually, don't really get too much value out of that. They are going to get first track in a mid lane inner. So they do take that down.
Gen.G are in a comfortable spot here.
Well, they want to go in on a Siwoo and try to burst him down before the fight even begins. He's in the mist and he is immune, but not for long, as eventually he will be taken down. Even the Wild Growth gets used here, as he was 100% dead, Wild Growth or not.
Can they do Baron, though, is the question. They've been a lot of tools there already. Duro and Canyon's ults down. This is still risky.
My eyes are on Chovy. He's got the engaged potential. Lucid's going to go in. Ruler takes a heaping helping of damage, and now Smash is just running forward. forward, and Chovy is late to the party, although he does take him down, and that's going to be a lot of damage taken away, and Canyon kind of unkillable as Chovy goes back in. Lucid on the backswing is taken down by Chovy. A very close fight in this one, but Smash does go down.
Yeah, a lot of shutdowns picked up for Gen.G. They end up ahead in gold, but the problem is the soul is still in the pockets of Dplus, and it's still fairly even in terms of the fight. They managed to get Siwoo here. It's a good pick. The TP comes round, and as you said, the wild growth is used, but doesn't really change the fate. Kind of wasted there. But here, the damage that comes down that ends up finding both Kiin and Ruler. Smash doing so much here. Lucid connects on a Ruler. Smash shreds both of them, and then Lucid follows up. Smash goes too far, though.
Yeah.
Ends up getting taken down by Chovy. Chovy then ends up getting this cleanup here on a Lucid. It's close, really close to him going down, but the flash away keeps him alive. And then ShowMaker and KIA just disengage from the situation.
And just trying to take Baron here in live. It looks
yeah,
like with ShowMaker,
on the end.
Yeah, ShowMaker is still done. So I think with ShowMaker not in the game at the moment for 10 seconds and no TP. Oh no, just gonna face check the brush. And DK, you cannot afford to make little mistakes like this and give free kills to Gen.G. Yes, you're ahead, you have the Cloud Soul, but they will always punish you.
This is such a frustrating game for Dplus because that play around the Baron, it doesn't feel great, but it doesn't feel that bad. It was pretty even until ShowMaker died on the back end. You know, we thought he was out.
And now they're trying to overextend here.
Oh,
the bubble comes in, Lucid is caught, and I mean, they don't have Siwoo. They're just, I don't know, it feels like DK are the desperate ones.
They've lost all discipline. This is unnecessary. They're just throwing themselves at Gen.G.
This was, I mean, DK were in total control of this game. And it was close, but like, a couple big mistakes here and there, and now all of a sudden it doesn't feel all that close.
I mean, the gold was neck and neck. Even though it felt like Dplus were getting these advantages,
yeah.
Smash was fed. They got the Cloud Soul, which should have really helped them out. The gold was close, and now Gen.G are 6,000 gold up.
This is a big Red Bull Baron power play, almost 4,000 gold and counting.
I think this is why it feels so frustrating, because this was such a winnable game for Dplus, and they've just thrown it away.
Chovy's 5,000 gold ahead.
ShowMaker should have been able to disengage from the situation.
Yeah.
The Baron shouldn't have gone over. Siwoo ends up getting caught. Lucid ends up overstepping and getting blown up. You have an 8-3-3 Yunara, and with Cloud Soul, you can just pop ult and run them down, and you're losing. Dives in here, gets disengaged. Good heal from Duro, and they just blow them up. And now Chovy might be in trouble.
I think Chovy is in trouble indeed. He does not have his ult, and just like that, will be taken down.
Okay, good pick. But there's nothing really to capitalize on in the meantime. Still good to pick it up, don't get me wrong. Wait, Chovy just... I'm pretty sure he had no components in his inventory, if I'm right. I think he just outright bought a Void Staff.
Well, he's pretty Giga fed.
Yeah, he's pretty monster fed.
He's pretty Omega fed at this point.
He was not having a good time in lane as well. He was kind of having a rough one, and he's just taken over this game.
Yeah.
So, he's pretty monster fed. There is a Mikhail's now for KIA, but doesn't stop the damage.
Yeah.
Just stops the CC. Elder in a mid-13, and you're now at a big deficit. This game doesn't feel nearly as good as it did before. And I feel like if you lose this game when you were, you know, an arm's length away from having it
GA
in control,
yep.
You're going to feel so bad. 50 seconds. GA picked up for Kiin. A lot of these final items starting to come in.
Yeah, the timing on this is very important. You see that final item bought with the GA, as you got to be careful about stepping up to the Corki, because he's got range, he's got Nami, and even though he's behind the Yunara, he still does tons of damage.
Well, they have the poke, really.
Yeah.
You know, we wouldn't see them set up for it or them doing as much before.
Not like this. Well, actually, exactly like this. Caught on vision, kind of a wonky ward spot, and Siwoo just does not expect it. Although they didn't have ward in the bush either, so yeah, just assuming he would be okay. But Chovy's just so fed that you can't make those plays anymore. Not at this point in the game. So now we got Elder in 5 seconds, and they don't have their Gwen.
I'm not even sure if they can make it in here. They're going to take so much poke as they move forward. They're already so low.
It's a very awkward spot to try to approach the Dragon when you don't have vision in the brush. And they're just focusing down the Elder. It's getting quite low. The engage does come in from Canyon. It's going to force them back. But Lucid can get access to this pin. It's just going to be a flip, and he gets it to Lucid! Lucid with the big pickup as he's going to go down, but now ShowMaker and Smash trying to move forward with that Elder buff. Not quite able to get on in there just yet, but they do take out Kiin. And they say, okay, we got the Elder, that's good enough. Chovy once more, though. He's going to flash on in, takes out Lucid, forces a flash himself. And now Smash goes in and just goes to his GA. Does get the kill on a ruler, so that could be pretty big. And we do have the res coming in. Chovy tries to take him out, and he does! And that is gigantic from Chovy, but still, ShowMaker alive, Canyon trying to survive, so the game doesn't end, but he will go down, and DK will look to push mid.
That's enough. They have a Gwen. They can end the game. The hero play from Smash and Lucid. They get the Elder low enough. They get the smite. They bring the game back.
And the game is over. It's just over from here. 17 seconds on the Jace. There's no chance. It's low health bars, but it does not matter. And Siwoo gets back into the fight at the very end with this TP. He will be the one that kills the next.